Hey guys, for this project today what we're going to do is we're going to make an origami swan. If you don't know what origami is, it's the Japanese art of folding paper. What you'll need to do first is get a square piece of paper. Mine is 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches, making it a square. All I have to do is kind of do one step fold by fold, and then you end up with a swan in the end. When your swan is done, we're going to add some designs onto the end of it, which I'll show you a little bit later in this video. First thing I want you guys to do is take your paper and lay it down like a diamond. Okay? You're going to now fold it along this line in half, and it's going to create a triangle. So let's take a look. I'm going to take this corner, and the best I can, I'm going to line it up with that other corner. I'm really looking to make sure it's lined up. Then I come down in the back and fold. Now I have triangle. Step one is done. Not so hard. Have to open it up. Okay, our folds get a little bit more difficult as we go. If you've ever folded a paper airplane, this next step is basically kind of what you do when you fold an airplane. I've got my center line, which I can see. I'm going to take this edge and fold it in so that those line up. I'm going to take this edge and fold it in so it lines up. I'll show you. So I'm just looking to make sure these top parts are lined up. I'm going to fold a little bit as I go here, and then I'm going to look closer as I get. The hard part is making sure that it's still coming to a point. So I'm really got to look at the end as I go. Alright, I'll show you in just a second once I fold this other side. The more of a point you have at the end, the better that your swan looks in the end, because this point here is going to be your swan's beak when we're all finished. Alright, kind of looks like a kite. This is the part you want to try to keep pointy. That's going to be the swan's beak. So now that we have this step, I'm going to take these two flaps, they have to be down, and then I'm going to do the same fold I just did, still using my center line and using this edge and using this edge, folding them into the middle. So this is like when you make an airplane and you get it super pointy and it flies really fast. It's kind of the same fold. So I'm going to line up this edge, smush it down as I go, trying really hard at the very end to keep my point. Very good, that one came out good. Now, if you're having trouble with this and you have more paper, you can always try over and over again. You can make a whole army of swans. Alright, so here I'm getting my last little bit. This last little part is always the hardest to fold. Boom, got it. Alright, so now this is what the new side looks like that I've just created. This is the underside. Two little flaps here. If you see these two little triangles here and here, you know you've done it right so far. Next step, I'm going to take these two little triangles, okay, I'm going to use them as my reference point to know that that's the top. And I'm going to put it down so that those little triangles I can see. If I can see them, I know it's the top. Now I'm going to take my point and fold it to the other end directly in half. Alright, now it's been folded directly in half. Okay, remember I said this is going to be the point. This is his beak. This is the head of the bird. So what I want to do is take, and I'm just going to fold down a little bit of that point. You'll see it right here. So I've just taken that point and folded it back. Alright? Not that hard. Next step, we still have our center line going through here. The whole thing has that center line, even on the top. What I'm going to do is fold them in half along that center line. Okay? So I'm just refolding it back in half. Now, our swan is almost done. Next step is, I'm going to pinch down here. This is the body. This part here is the neck. I'm going to take the neck and I'm going to pull it up, not so straight up and down like 90 degrees. I'm going to leave a little bit of an angle in it like this, and then I have to take this area and I'm going to pinch it there so that it stays better. Okay? Next step, I'm going to take his beak, pull it up, and then pinch there a little bit too so that it stays out. All right, now, if we've done this right, your swan will look like this. And it should stand on its own. If it's tipping over a little bit, your neck might be too forward, and you can angle it back a little like this. And just try to get it leaning back a little bit. And it'll stand a little better. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to show you guys what's next. And what's next is we're going to be drawing a line design all over our swan. All right, see you in a second. Hey guys, just want to show you what I've been working on. So I've taken my swan and I've added some different types of line patterns all over. I've added different thicknesses, types, and directions of lines, all of which we've talked about earlier. I have chosen some areas to draw it and other areas to not draw it. When you leave an area white or blank on part of your designs, that's called negative space in art. The positive space would be the area that you've drawn, and the negative space is the area you haven't. In my design, the positive and the negative space work together as a complete design. So sometimes it helps to not draw all the lines everywhere. If I were to add patterns here and here, it might be too much. And when you look at it, you might not be able to see some of the line patterns that are so unique because your eyes are kind of overloaded with too much image. So what I want you guys to do is maybe practice on another piece of paper. Try to draw some different types of lines, patterns. Just have fun with it, be creative, and then come up with a game plan on your swan before you draw on it. You could draw with a pencil first if you're afraid of making a mistake. That's one thing, and then trace over it with a marker, or you could just go for it with the marker, just knowing that if you make a mistake, you might have to kind of improvise. One more thing I wanted to talk to you about. I've only drawn on this side so far. I've started to draw on the other side, but I haven't finished. The other side of my swan, I'm going to try to draw the same thing, but on the other side, because my swan is symmetrical. It's the same on both sides. You can start to see I've done it here. And I'm going to continue working here. This pattern here, I'm going to try to have going this way, but my lines now are going to go down that way. Same thing for the neck, I would do that onto this side. So I'm going to try to make my swan design symmetrical too. All right, take some time, have some fun, plan out your ideas, and let's see what you guys can make. Bye.